webinar. Hello, hi everyone. Welcome to the last product update webinar of the year. I'm Juan Pelosa Organ, and I'm the Talis Technology from Sage Marketing Manager for Talis. Some housekeeping rules. If you have any questions, please post them in the chat or the Q&A box. And just as a reminder, this session is recorded and it will be shared with you after. Next slide, please, Kate. So today I'm joined by Scott, our Talis Head of Product, Kate, our Talis Product Manager, and Lisa, our Talis Junior Product Manager. No Georgia this time, she is on holiday. Next slide, please, Kate. So this time round, we'll be looking at the upcoming bookmarking update, the new resource types update, an update regarding the tagging system, Talis Engage, or as we previously referred to, a Talis Reader, an update to the upcoming updates to the bookmarking extension, then a look at the roadmap for the first half of 2025, and over to you for questions. Over to you, Kate.
Thank you very much, Juan. Hi, everyone. How are you today? Hope you're doing well, staying warm. So I just wanted to give you a quick update on the bookmarking theme. We've just made it through another phase, so just a quick run through where we are now. Just as to bring back your recollection, this was top voted from the Insights 2023 in Birmingham. We've had over 40 different ideas in the user portal, and we've gotten lots of good feedback during your various support calls. So thank you for all of that. When we did the analysis, we kind of drilled through everything, compiled, looked at root causes, common pain points across different places, and we came up with two things that we needed to prioritize to help the most of you in the best ways. So one is provide more flexibility around how the bookmarks link rather than dictating how it links. And the second is to improve the general usability, which should make everyone quite happy. You can take a look at these later. These are just some examples of some of the ideas that have come through. So we want to respect each of your ecosystems. You have different systems and different configurations of those systems. Some of you use link resolver, some of you don't, this kind of thing. And of course, we want to make it easier for all of you, no matter what your device is or how you work. We want to make the system easy enough for you. We thought also if we were able to create the right bookmarks for your system and make it really easy for the academics to just create those, then maybe that would save you some time and money in the long run as you're going through reviews. So now I want to thank, and I will do this again later, but just a big thank you to those of you who volunteered to walk through some user testing with our user experience member of the Talis team, that's Anna. So I'm going to just share with you a few of the sample prototypes that a few of your volunteers got to look at in recent weeks. These are all subject to change, and we've just taken back more feedback on different concepts, how the workflow is, what's shown on various different screens, what kind of data. All the data that you see here or that you may have seen in your user testing is all just made up data for the most part. So the biggest thing is that rather than when you are on a resource on the web and click the Talis bookmark extension, rather than opening the big form with all the metadata fields that you have to scroll through, we wanted to instead present you with some sample bookmarks, so a preview of different bookmarks that we are able to get for you from the different sources, depending on what information is available. We'd give you the ability to preview what the bookmark looks like, review the metadata, ensure it's what you need, and then either edit the resource or add it to your list. Or if it's just not working at all, you could do it the old-fashioned way and look it up with the ISBN, the DOI, or the LCN from the catalog. If you did want to edit the metadata, there's also a lot of options we had here. How can we make it easier than it is today? And we had loads of good feedback from everyone, so thank you very much on that. So we're looking at ideas such as, do you want to still see every single field, even if they're empty and there's no value? Do you want to be able to select extra fields from a drop-down, or maybe you'd like to see all the extra fields all in one go? With a click of the button, you could easily add them. So these are some of the things that Anna has been walking folks through to get the feedback. Also, we have this nice concept of being able to preview the bookmark at each step to kind of really give the person that ability to see what they're doing. And then there was a couple of different flows on how to add to the list, helping some people find the list easier, selecting importance, and looking for that balance kind of between as few steps as possible, but still keeping a clean view. So next, I just will walk you through kind of our intentions on how we're going to release this to make it easy for you. We've just completed the user testing with UX with Anna, and we're moving into build. We have already started some of that build in the background, some of the technical things. But as soon as we're able to compile all the feedback and understand where we need to go next, and we're just so you know, we're also going to meet with ops next week, so that we have the benefit of the wider view and can really understand some of those issues. So then we will begin the build in earnest for the screens and present that back to you guys, to hide it behind permission. So only by choice, you'll be able to go out and look at the new screens, play around with it, see if there's anything that needs improvement immediately. And it will give you time to do your communications and your trainings, that sort of thing, your documentation. And then we'll roll it out to general availability. So we're very excited to get that somewhere towards the end of first quarter, beginning of second quarter. I'm not sure exactly yet. It depends. Again, all these prototypes, the designs are subject to change. Maybe a little, maybe a lot. We'll figure that out in the coming week or two. But again, a big thank you to Anna and our Discovery volunteers. With that, I'd like to, if there's no immediate questions, I don't see any, I'd like to hand it over to Lisa to talk about some things that are going on actively right now.
Thanks, Kate. Yeah, I've been talking a little bit already earlier about the new resource types, and many of you have been involved in this process, so thanks a lot for that feedback loop. This is still ongoing, but we have a lot of information already to share about what's happening. So you can see here that we are adding 4 new resource types: report, database, newspaper, and object. These were the ones that we saw both from AHA and with our correspondence and discussions with you, that these are the most needed and asked for. Particularly database and report have been asked a lot. They have been really in high demand, so it's great that we can now give that. To support these new resource types, but also increasing the usage of the old resource types, we are adding 6 new metadata fields, the ones that are add field in the bookmarking screen. And these are court, format, number, location, series, and identifier. And some of you might have been, for example, suggesting that there would be an archive or another kind of location, or numbers, article numbers, and case numbers, and so on. But we went here with the solution that we keep them rather open so that you can use them in a way that suits your institution best. So for example, number can be an article number or some other number that you want to be able to have in your resources. Or format, for example, can be an ebook, can be a podcast if it's an audio document, and so on. So this will add more options for you and your users to add as much metadata and information as you need for reporting, for correct citations, and also for the more pedagogical aspects of how to use the resources that you can communicate to students. Some practical information here is that basically it's going to be working just like the ones you already have in Aspire. So wherever there is a resource type involved, or a metadata field involved, it will be the same thing with the new ones. So you will see them in bookmarking. You can be able to filter on them in the reports and in reading lists. They will follow the citation styles, being reviews and so on. We are currently building and testing these things out right now. So we do see that it looks really good. And we are hoping to be able to make this go live to you in early next year. There won't be any actions needed from your side to adopt this technically to your tenancies. And there will also not be any automatical changes back retrospectively or so on. So these are things that can be used just as the resource types right now, but everything will be manually added if you want to change them backwards or so on. If you could give the next slide, please. And here you can see two examples. They are not exactly yet as you will see them when they come, but I think they will give you a nice sneak peek. The added fields, the metadata fields, will come all under details. So when you click open the item in a reading list and the same place where you can see the publisher or volume and so on. So it will be there. This is something we're doing for now. Might be that we will be following your feedback on this. There was discussions about having, for example, format in a different place so that it would be more visible. But we have two reasons for that not to happen right now, and they come on the next slide, please, or even the one after that, because we are going to be working on tagging, and this means that we want to keep the reading lists quite as clear as possible. So that's why we're not adding right now anything extra there. And also, we think there might be some interesting use cases for you with the tags in consideration to adding formats of the different resource types, or more granular information about the resource types. So in the last webinar and also in some of the newsletters and so on, we've been having talks about these taggings. We had a discovery, meaning that we wanted to learn from you how you work now and how you would like to be working in the future. And this was based on quite a lot of feedback that we gotten earlier about a lot of customers who would want to have a way of highlighting certain kinds of resources in lists and also to be able to report on them. And some examples there, the most common examples there are for processes where you work with open access or open educational resources, or processes for decolonizing reading lists and curricula. We did interviews and we had some correspondences as well with 14 institutions of you. So that was really nice. Thank you so much. Those are all done. And we also talked, of course, a lot with our customer success team because they have a nice panorama view of you, and they speak with you more frequently. So that's great. So thank you so much. And from all these learnings that we got, we distilled some preliminary plans for a first phase of tagging, which we have penciled in for the second half of next year. And what we took with us from our learning from you was that most of you would be probably served well with having tags on unique items in reading lists, so they wouldn't be affecting other the same resource but in other places in Aspire, and they would be copied and rolled over. They would be visible for those who can view a list with those tags, so pretty much working similarly to the importances here. And no separate for private tags or internal for staff and so on. So that's also something where we hope to hear more from you later when we're building it. We're also looking at making the vocabulary controlled, so not free text tags in this phase. And they would be possible to set in self-serve if your institution wants to use them. So if your institution does not want to use them, or you want to postpone adopting it or so on, it's up to you whether you want to set them or not. And they will be possible to filter on in the all list item reports and in reading lists and in advanced MIS if you have that. So I think that's really exciting, and I hope it's going to be really great. And I will give it over to Scott.
Thanks, everybody. Just to round up a little bit on Talis Engage, first of all. So Talis Engage is what we're now calling Talis Reader. The first release will support upload to journal article, book and chapter. So this fits in with copyright flows. So those items that you could normally put through digitization or CLA. So we're just going to support those material types in the very first release, which will probably be sometime in February, end of February, I suspect. We will do a later release. We did talk to people about copyright of things outside articles, books, chapters, and it seems very much a mixed bag. So we'll do a later release to work out how we're going to manage those, the copyrights on those, if it will, how we'll cope with that. And that's for things like documents, images, videos, etc. So we're thinking of some sort of flow where librarians can maybe allow academics to self-certify on those, or to force them through the library, and that's all for discussion after we've done the first phase. Libraries will be able to decide if they want or don't want Talis Engage activated, so it's entirely up to you if you want to switch on and when you switch it on. And you'll also be able to choose if you want academics to self-declare copyright, or if all uploads have to be approved by library staff. I say we'll have full video demos, etc. before that goes live, and when it's ready, you'll be able to have a look and decide if that's something you want to switch on. And thankfully, if everyone that's given us some feedback so far, I've been on a few calls with customers, it's been very helpful. Okay, next slide, please, Kate. So the bookmark extension, we've released this, I think we talked about this in the last webinar, but we have now made it available in Edge as well. So it's available in all the major browsers and all the major browser stores. We are going through the process of updating current scrapers. So all the scrapers on the old extension do work in a new one. But we're just going through and updating them, making them more efficient, and adding a lot of new ones. We've had requests. We've got about 8 or 9 requests for new scrapers on things like OpenStax, ebooks, and others. So we're working through the process, adding those. But nothing in the old scrapers, nothing that was there before should stop working. So if you find something that's not working or not working as well as it used to, the best thing is just contact our help desk, put a ticket in, and it'll come through to the the product and dev team to prioritize that and get that sorted. So I hope everyone's getting on with it okay, but if there are any problems, again, do let us know. And next slide, please, Kate. So quick update on our roadmap for the rest for 2025. So we've got Talis Engage phase 1, which I just talked about. February, March 2025, we're quite confident with that so far. Bookmarking quarter 2, 2025. So that's that team will be working hard on that. And then in April 2025, we're going to be doing some LTI 1.3 updates. I've just been going through those this morning with our lead architect, and we've got five main areas that people have asked us to address in LTI 1.3. It's all things that people have fed back. So we're looking forward to making those available. And we're also looking at updating the add resource screen. So when you click on add resource in a list, we're hoping to add other resources in there. So those of you that want to have Nielsen Book Data annual discovery system, we'll make that available. Through things like self-serve, you'll be able to decide if you want open access in there or integration with other systems like SpringShare. So we haven't done a discovery on that yet. We'll be doing that really next year. So if you want to be involved in that, have a think about that. We'll be asking people in January if they want to be involved. And one final bit of news. Next slide, please, Kate. Sad goodbye to Lisa. Lisa embracing the Lean Library scheme there and dressing as a llama. So sad goodbye to Lisa. She joined us in January this year. She'll be leaving us in mid-January 2025. She's had a very positive impact on the product team here at Talis, and we're wishing her all the best for the future. Thank you, Lisa. And with that, we'll move on to any questions. I see there's a couple already in the webinar chat. Nick saying, is Talis Engage just for institutions with the Talis copyright integration? It should work for those with the DCS integration as well, Nick, and we're just talking to the teams about that over the next couple of days internally. So we will have more news on that in the new year, but that is planned to be for those that you have the Talis copyright and the DCS integration as well. Chris Dobson, academics uploading their own digitized chapters, possibly they won't be OCR'd, but of course we support lots of different material types, so it's not just PDFs that this will support, EPUBs, Word documents, images, videos. So there's hopefully people will start using EPUBs as well for their uploads, not just PDFs, so should be more accessible. But yes, I mean, that's always a concern that they will upload poor copies of materials, which is one of the reasons we give you the sort of more controls if you want to be supervising what they're uploading.
Scott, we got a couple of further questions. One of them is, does Talis Engage work similar to digitization requests?
Okay, yep. A similar, yes, but an academic, it depends how you've got your digitization set up, but effectively from the list screen, you've got an item on your list, you click on the three dots, and one of the options will be upload to Talis Engage. So the academic limit, upload it into Engage. That will allow some, assuming how you've got the copyright flow set up, so it maybe needs to be approved by your library first if you want that to happen, or it may just go straight up onto Engage. And then there's also an option for the academic to turn on class comments. So it allows the whole class to discuss an item that's there in Engage. So similar to digitization requests, but a little bit different as well. If I see the other one there, if you have a website we routinely could do with bookmark scraping be improved. Yes, there is a support ticket for that, absolutely. Just give the details of what the site is, what problems what you're seeing and what you need to be gathered if it's not apparent, and we'll do what we best we can. If you are using websites that are behind some sort of authentication, we may ask you for access to that, because it's the only way we can access is to get in and test them. We don't often have access to many of these sites like LexisNexis, etc. So we may come back to you and say, can you provide a username and password so we can set it up and test it? But happy to improve those. And yes, like back to the chat, Nick, yeah, I understand the accessibility perspective. Hopefully people will start using other document types as well, because we all know PDF is one of the least accessible document types out there. With the inclusion of EPUBs, that will hopefully make the situation much better. I don't know if there's any other questions or comments. This is our last webinar of the year. I'm only a couple of weeks away now, so I think I can wish you a Merry Christmas without being too far away from the date. And I hope you all have a good new year, and we look forward to releasing lots more exciting improvements to Talis with those resource types early in January. That's all from us.